We are partnering with GPMS, and GPMS is the Global People's Monetary System, and GPMS.WORLD is the website, and it is a worldwide referendum for change. GPMS has no foundational funds. What they do have is through 38,000 hearts around the world that are coming together and have already pooled their voices together to be the foundation for change for everyone. With GPMS, we are looking to have millions of voices stand up together, linking arms to make a change in this world, especially for our children. And with GPMS, every child's vote counts. So there's 2 billion children in the world. If we could just get their parents and their guardians and their loved ones to sign them up and have their voice be heard, that they want a different future forward. They want something new in their forward. They want to know that children like the children at the CELECHO Orphanage and other orphanages around the world are not going to bed hungry. They want to raise the 85% of the world that lives under the poverty level. We have homelessness. We have children dying every single day from abuse, neglect, and malnutrition. We have 30,000 hearts a day on average leaving this world that they don't have to. They're leaving because they have no other choice, and they're dying because of the systems that are currently put in place in every country. GPMS changes that. With the voice of the people, for the people, you have the unified, universal, simplified law. You have the freedoms and decrees and the consent through GPMS that you can say, I want to be the change. And even if you can't give monetary funds to us or the children around the world right now, you can make a difference for free by signing yourself up and your children, your family, telling your friends. If you work for an orphanage, making sure that every child in your orphanage has their consent and their voice decreed through GPMS.WORLD. You can make a difference just by doing that, and making sure that every child out there, if you're a school teacher, telling your children's parents, to letting them know that they can make a difference for the children, and that every child will receive $10,000 a month in addition to what their parents, their guardians, and their loved ones are going to receive. Who wouldn't want that for our children? Who wouldn't want that forward? And if you want to make a difference and you just don't know how, that is how. You sign yourself up for GPMS. It costs you nothing. And there's no one making money off of GPMS right now. There's no 1%. There's no one that's going to be holding holding the funds for certain things. Every single human being on earth receives the same amount, and it's endless supply of money that is coming in for now and our future forwards. And all it takes to implement this, to get it out and rolled out, is the voice of the people. We need the majority of the voice of the people to really make this happen. And those votes and voices are coming in drastically every single day. Here in the United States, we have less than 2,700 people. And I know with the poverty levels and the homelessness that we have, and we have over 1,000 children just in my town that are homeless within the school district here, that are having to have buses pick them up at churches and at motel parking lots because their families are living within their cars. There are 45% of the world that has zero access to social media. They don't have internet access. They don't have cell phones. How do we get this word out to them? How do we ensure that they have their voices heard? Those are all amazing brainstorming ideas that are needed for those who are contributors to GPMS. So if you're looking for a humanitarian cause and you want to make a difference for the children, GPMS is the way to go. You can join the hundreds of hearts that are behind the scenes, putting together ideas of brainstorming ways to share this information out there. Our GPMS angels at the CELECHO Orphanage have all been signed up, and they are spreading the word. And our hope is to have GPMS as a foundational partner for distribution, so we can buy a printer that for the orphanage or for the beauty salon or boutique of color, and print out labels and make sure that every bag has GPMS on it. Every item that's purchased has a GPMS tag that shows people where to go to sign and have their voice be heard, in addition to putting the logo on there. So GPMS has zero money right now because of they're waiting for this to roll out. But the 38,000 hearts attached to it, those are the hearts that we are really opening our heart to invite you in to be a distribution and a foundational partner in this business to get this orphanage financially free. So we are not coming back here every day asking for rent and food and help with our water bills and our electricity bills and sponsorships for the kids to go to school. All of the things that we are having to do right now, they will be fully funded. And then we can take our focus and put it towards another orphanage and helping this orphanage build out the school of color and their forever home on land that has been already purchased for them. So we have big dreams and we have big goals, and we are looking forward to celebrating the milestones that come along with it. We can't achieve those milestones without additional support from others like you. So please join us in this Rainbow Rise Up of 2023 as we lift our children out of the depths of poverty and we color in hope for them, so hope can change and that they will be the last generation on this earth that lives within this amount of pain. These children did not ask to lose their families, to lose their parents, and to be homeless living on the streets of Zambia. Thank goodness that there was a beautiful heart that had already walked their path at 14. And from 14 to 18, Chichi lived on the streets, and she was able to raise enough money by getting a job to open the orphanage in Zambia at 18 years old to lift other children off the streets. And she is at her full max capacity of 100 children. But every single week, she gets moms with children coming in that have no food, and she gives whatever she can to them. She is a sponsor for others within the community, showing them of where to go or how she can offer her leadership to them to help them to create the ability to get themselves help. If she can't offer them help, it's really hard for her to turn anyone away, and she will give them her dinner plate when they show up with their children. And even though she can't take in any more children at the moment, there is a waiting list of children that are still living on the streets that need more funding that for the CELECHO Orphanage. And when we have a bigger space, we're building out our forever home, hopefully we'll be able to bring more of those children in. This week, I also got to meet with the founder and the director of the God's Grace Orphanage in Uganda, who is also a brother of the GPMS family. And Wanderer has been helming about 40 children. And he too found himself living on the streets when he was 10 years old. And he was so honored. About 7 years later, he was able to connect with a family that knew his parents before they died in a tragic accident. And they had no idea that Wanderer was on the streets. And having a relationship with his parents, they asked him to come in and live with them. And the moment he found security and stability, he was able to then go through school and earn an education. he turned around immediately and created an orphanage and asked children that were living on the streets like what he could do to help. And from a 1-bedroom apartment in the city of the city and town that he lived in Uganda, he took in it started with 5, and then it grew to 12, and then they ended up having like 20 kids living in a 1-bedroom apartment because every child knew a child, and the children didn't care. They just wanted a roof over their heads, and they wanted to be part of something and have a family again. And they would do the chores, and they would do whatever was needed. And then he was able to find a home that was outside of town, but it was only $100 a month, and it could fit all of them. And so over the course of the last 3 years, he went from that 1-bedroom apartment for over a year to now having a kind of a compound for the children. And he has up to almost 40. I think 37 was the number that he gave me. And they range from the ages of 5 through 16. And I was able to meet with him and hear his business plan and how every orphanage is either hoping for those monthly sponsors, which are not happening and they don't happen. But he's also created multiple business plans of, like Chi-Chi did, of proposals of how to make his orphanage fully funded. And for him, they have the space on the land that they currently live on to have a poultry farm, to raise chickens and to harvest their eggs and sell their eggs within their community. They go for high prices, and they are very wanted. And so we were working through, and he was walking me through his business plan of what would be needed and what it would take for him to be able to start up this poultry farm, to buy the fencing, to create the coop, to have solar panels on top of the coop that would run all the energy. Recently, the GPMS family had pooled together to help him with a water tank, because Wanderer, the children would come home from school, and then they would all have to gather jugs and water supply and hike over miles away from where they lived to a fresh water supply. They would fill up their jugs, and him and all the children would walk back. And there were parts of that, of what they were walking through with like big, tall brush, that their children were in danger in this process that they would have to do every single day. And they would spend from school until dusk doing this one project of getting water for the children. And to see that it would cost less than $1,000 of donations to get him a water tank and to tap into a pump system and a water reservoir system that was underneath his land. And those beautiful hearts from GPMS were able to install recently. So they've been doing this for years and doing that daily water retrieval system. Now they have a water tank on site that is able to provide for the children. And to see these beautiful children washing their faces and putting the water where before every drop of water had to count. So there was no excess when it came to being able to splash your face with water and to wash your feet. And now they have this supply of water that would not only be able to help, that takes care of him and the children on the monthly basis, it also has enough water that it would also be able to provide for the poultry farm that he's hoping to create. And that would again give him financial stability and freedom, give that back to him. So he's not every single day spending hours a day, both of these two, and they're both in their 20s. They are spending hours a day and multiple messages out to anyone who's ever donated to them before. And 99% of those emails and messages and correspondence does not gain them financial support. And they get a lot of rejection, and they smile through it. I know there has to be a better way. I know that all the beautiful hearts that are on LinkedIn who run businesses, who are CEOs of businesses, you know how hard it is. And you've been walking through those same milestones and goals that we learned in our celebration today. Those rad goals of setting goals that are achievable, making sure that we're writing them down and celebrating the milestones that go along the way. You know what it's like in the beginning stages of you starting your business. And these two have a business of humanity and don't have a business that has financial funds that are flowing through. So that is my soapbox. That is my soul and my heart speaking to everyone who is listening, that we can do better for our children. And I am here to help and to offer guidance or to pull together great minds and great hearts if you have ideas that can make a difference in both of these children, both of these orphanage and these children's lives. And they're not the only ones. There's multiple orphanages that I have been in contact with and offering consultations to. The first thing that I offer them is, how can I help you sign up all of your children for GPMS, your staff, your family, your community? Because the quicker we get those numbers in, the quicker all of this goes away for you. And that is why I'm a voice for GPMS, because it is the future forward. It is divinely given to us. It's divinely led for us to be able to bring this to forward fruition when we can all just pool our hearts together and come as one for the people, by the people. That is the simplified law. Your freedoms, your sovereignty, your voice matters, no matter what country you live in. And the United States, the Philippines, and Thailand are just crushing us in the voices that are being heard for change. And I feel that with so many of the beautiful hearts and patriots that we have within this country, that, and those who are so vocal with their voice, that we should be able to make a difference here too, by making sure that all of our children get the opportunity to have their voice heard. So sign up your children, GPMS.WORLD. Check out their website, read through the decrees and consents, read your freedoms out loud, change the energy of your forward future, read through the simplified laws that will be coming into place, read through the comparisons of the 56 comparisons of the current world we're living in and the new world that we're going to create together. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am Julie Schindler, the founder and host of the Speak Up in Color and Speak Up events. You can connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Now we are on TikTok, and you can find me under most of all of my IDs are under 80 and Sunny. So I look forward to your ideas. I look forward to connecting with you, and I look forward to growing our rainbow and raising up these children in 2023. Have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the other side of this rainbow. Good night, everybody.